Good morning, friends. Welcome back to another fun edition, and it looks like we have a brand new portal again with the Wilderness Summon, and this fancy new yellow character, Stravia. She's a very interesting character design. Um, she reminds me a lot of a character that I saw from an anime called Hunter x Hunter. Just the character design looks a lot like that. Probably not remotely related, but still kind of cool. Just thought I'd throw that tidbit in. All right, moving on from there, let's take a look at what this character does. We do have a new CP high of 1613, which I'm sure we've been creeping up slowly, but it seems kind of high. It'll be interesting to do my power creep tracker at the end of the month to see how we've been progressing this month. But to start things out, we have the monk class. The monk class, of course, is a pretty sought after one. Gives them a natural ability to resist status effects at 30% clip, I'm pretty sure. Next up, we have the Wildcat family bonus. Just a reminder of what this does. It is a bonus for 1, 2, or 3 heroes, and it gives you a 5, 10, or 15% chance to dodge special skills. Each special skill dodged damages the attacker for 1, 2, or 300 damage. All right, so as for family bonuses, I'm not overly impressed with the Wildcat family. I just feel like it's not doing much, and that damage on dodge is just relatively low. 1, 2, or 300 is still a pretty small amount as well. I would love it if they just kind of tweaked those numbers a little bit, maybe made them a little more relevant, but hey, whatever, it is what it is. All right, next up, we have our 9 lives passive. When defeated, this character has an 80% chance to revive at the beginning of the next turn with 50% health and 80% mana. Activates up to 9 times. Chance to revive is reduced on each activation. Can't be prevented with status, ailments, or passive skills. So, what's interesting about this is that does give them a chance to pop up quite a bit. There have been times where this is incredibly frustrating in fights, and there are times where, like, they just die and they never come back almost immediately. It's a very weird mechanic that is a wild card for sure. So I do like it. I do think it's a fun ability. It's just there's been too many times where it just wasn't relevant. So it's a niche ability, but it is interesting. Then we also have the Lith Frame. This one is a little bit different. This one basically means that you're not really allowed to modify their defense in any way. So you can't increase it, you can't decrease it. It is just going to be whatever it is. In this case, they put 1544. It's going to stay at 1544. Doesn't go up, doesn't go down. So, I don't know if I love that. I do usually like defense up as an ability for my team. It won't affect Wildcats, but at least they're also not being affected by defense down. So, yeah. Next up, we have our Aether Power in Fiend Resist. This is not that exciting. Honestly, Fiend Resist might be my least favorite Aether Power. I mean, the odds are, even if there are Fiends in the opposing team, are they going up in the first 6 turns? I don't know if they are. So this one's kind of a little lackluster in my opinion. We could do better there, but so such is life. All right, moving on. Down here to our special, operating at very fast. We have the Courier's Dash, and it is going to deal 170% clawing damage to all enemies. So there's a little question mark here. Let's take a look at what it says. It says deals 255% damage against enemies with defensive buffs, minions, or mega minions. So it does increase its damage against, various things. Enemies with defensive buffs, minions, or mega minions receive negative 35% defense for 6 turns. Okay, so that's important to know, is that she does apply defense down to people that are buffed, which is interesting. It's a good way to counter some of the defensive buffs, like defense up. It might replace that defense up. I'd have to confirm that because I haven't used clawing damage very much, but that would be a nice counter that just kind of automatically exists within her special. Then we have all enemies receive 1200 surge bleed damage over 6 turns. Oh, yay, another question mark. Okay, so additional info here. It says if the target already has this effect, the duration will be refreshed and the damage will increase by 300. Max damage is 3000. All right, so let's take a quick moment to talk about this. Her initial damage does not look impressive at 170 clawing damage to all enemies, but let's point out that it is to all enemies, okay? So that's pretty cool. And then each time that they cast the special, which this duration lasts for 6 turns. So we have a very fast special that we're casting, that will last for 6 turns. And then you're assuming that you probably get this back up again, especially if you have her in like a tank or a flank on defense or something like that. I could see this special coming back up before 6 turns is up for sure. And then as long as that occurs and they haven't cleansed off the surge bleed, you're going to keep stacking this, and it's going to do more and more damage each time it stacks, up to a maximum of 3000, which is bonkers. I mean, it needs to stack like 10 times at that point, but regardless, like, that can be interesting, and it does let her sneak in more damage. It's just not going to be damage up front. It's going to probably help you finish off longer fights, but not necessarily kill things quickly. If the caster is defeated in the next 4 turns, reduce the max health of all enemies by 1000 over 4 turns. This effect is stronger against targets with boosted health. So also, she's giving herself this buff when she casts her special. So if you do kill her, you're going to see 1,000 boosted health taken off of all of your guys. Again, that's a very helpful defensive trait. Maybe this character is designed to be a defensive character. I mean, it will help you on offense too. If she goes down, the same effect happens to their defending team. But I think the whole concept here is that you reduce their max health by 1,000, right? She dies, but then she's got 9 lives, so there's a very good chance she pops back up again with 80% mana, mind you, 80%. So just understand that when she comes back, she's almost full mana again. If you hit her once or twice at very fast speed, she would then be ready to cast her special again, put this ability back up, and then the next time you kill her, you're losing another 1,000 HP over everyone's health total. This is why I said I think she's designed to be a defensive character. The way that her setup is made, it seems to be a headache on defense, especially if the type of attackers that you're bringing are hit alls, and you can't really stop them from hitting her, and you will probably end up killing her just as like an accident. But the problem is, if you kill her and you can't cleanse off this buff of hers, you're going to constantly be reducing max health, and it won't take long at 1,000 per reduction before you start seeing your guys, 2 weeks to survive specials. So, like, it's a very interesting concept. And I say concept because we haven't really seen this sort of creation before. So I don't know how well it plays out in reality as opposed to the concept on paper. On paper, it sounds fun, but can it actually operate efficiently in game? Then it also says all allies resist new effects that block usage of special skills for 4 turns. Okay, again, pretty nice there too. So things like songs, silence, and things like that are kind of in the meta right now and messing everyone's world up. If this character goes off first at very fast, she is creating protection against things like songs, silences, and various other shutdown effects that have been existing in the current meta. Yeah, I feel like I like her a lot in a defensive role. Um, it's interesting. I'm not sure I would tank her. Again, it's impossible to increase her defense. So, like if you tank her, she might die, but she does have 9 lives. So you can hope that the odds are in your favor, and she keeps popping back up as tank, and then creates this system where you can wipe the enemies out with the reduced health from her buff when it goes up. Like it's very interesting. I am going to give her an 8 out of 10. I think she has the potential to be more. I think she has the potential to ruin entire systems, but again, it's only on paper, it's only in theory, and there's a lot of things that can affect this. Dispelling off these buffs kind of removes a lot of her potential strength. So with that in mind, it's not so easy to just say that like, oh, like I got her, she's done, like she's going to be the defensive champion of the world. I feel like you definitely have to plan for her, because if you ignore her, she's going to end up making your day very interesting. So yeah, let's just go with 8 out of 10 for now, with the potential. I see potential for her to be higher than that. I really do. I just think there's too many things that could go wrong to ruin that potential higher grade. So we'll stick with the 8. But either way, if you get her, she's going to be fun. Like she's the type of character that catches people off guard in wars, where you can kind of sneak in an extra victory or something like that that they weren't expecting. So congrats to everyone who pulls her, and we will catch you next time.